greedy meshing will reduce the number of vertices used to draw our voxel terrain. But how much does this actually affect the frame rate of our project after the mesh has been generated? Follow along to see if greedy meshing ended up increasing the frame rate of my voxel project or not. In this video, I'll show you how I set up experiments and collected data to properly compare the frame rate when using greedy meshing versus a simpler meshing algorithm. At the end of this video, I'll also show you another huge benefit of using greedy meshing. In one of the previous videos in this series, I showed how we can use Godot's monitor to get information on a lot of useful stuff we can use to evaluate the performance of our project in real time. We looked at the frame rate, memory used, draw calls, orphan nodes, and a lot of other things. Looking at the data directly in the monitor menu can be useful in a lot of cases. But for this project, I quickly felt that this wasn't the right way to go. The frame rates would be difficult to compare properly because the scales on the y-axis would adjust to the running project. What I wanted was to be able to create a few plots using RStudio like the ones I used in my previous video on greedy meshing. So I needed a way to lock the data at runtime so I could import it all to RStudio and create my plots. Luckily, Godot makes it really easy to get all the data from the monitor menu from code. So I expanded the logger class I made to collect data in my last video, so it would log both the frame rate, the memory used, and the primitives drawn. Initially, I wanted to log this every frame. However, the frame rate value is only updated once every second, so I decided to add a timer that would then call the logging method once a second instead. After getting the hang of logging the data, I then moved on to designing the tests. There were 3 distinct cases I wanted to compare. First is viewing the entire terrain. In this test, we maximize the number of chunks that will be rendered at the same time. Secondly, I also wanted to compare the frame rate when moving around closer to the terrain. Because we're closer to the ground, Godot's rendering system will automatically avoid rendering the chunks outside our view. Finally, I also wanted to see how the different solutions would perform when we modify the terrain and thus continuously remesh a chunk. For this, I also implemented a very simple way to add and remove blocks to the system. The solution I have for this right now is in no way useful for an actual game. My main focus at this point was to create something useful for these specific tests. For all 3 types of tests, I wanted to include the performance of when the world was being generated and after everything was up and running. The tests for this video were created manually, and for this reason they are obviously not identical when using greedy meshing and the simpler meshing solution. However, I'm confident that they are close enough for the purpose of this video. Now let's take a look at the results of the tests. In the first test, we're looking at the entire terrain, and greedy meshing is clearly resulting in the highest amount of frames per second, both when the terrain is being generated and after everything is up and running. It makes sense that greedy meshing is faster when everything is loaded, because we have to render fewer triangles. However, the fact that the greedy meshing also comes out as the winner when the terrain is generated was less obvious. I'm assuming that the reason for this must be that even though generating a chunk is slower using greedy meshing, rendering what's already been generated is just so much faster that it makes up for the slower generation. Next, we have the tests where we're moving around in the terrain. Again, greedy meshing is faster, but it isn't as big a difference as in the previous example. Because I created the tests manually, the data might not be directly comparable for the same x values here. Instead, I'm assuming that it makes sense to just compare the highest values and the lowest values. The highest performance will be when we are close to the terrain and some of our chunks can be called, so only part of the terrain is rendered. In these cases, the performance using the two algorithms are not that different. However, the more of the terrain we can see at the same time, the lower will the frames per second be when using the skip hidden faces algorithm. Finally, let's look at the performance when editing a single chunk. Here we can also see a notable difference between the two algorithms, and just like in the first test, where we view the entire terrain, I'm assuming that greedy meshing results in a better frame rate because the faster rendering of the rest of the terrain outweighs the slower remeshing of a single chunk. We might get other results if we measured the performance for editing the terrain when either more or less of the rest of the terrain is visible than in this test case. However, using the first two tests, I'm confident that we can estimate what the results would look like in those cases. So for this video, I feel that this is enough tests to get an idea of the frame rate of our voxel terrain when using the two meshing algorithms. I feel it's pretty clear that greedy meshing results in a better frame rate in all the cases we covered in this video. However, the difference is less notable when we're only rendering a smaller part of the entire terrain. So, is greedy meshing worth it? Well, for me it is, because my main vision is to create a terrain where the player will view a lot of chunks most of the time. But maybe your project is different. Maybe you have another vision. In this case, the skip hidden faces algorithm might be just fine. We will most likely also make other optimizations later that will make the difference between the two algorithms smaller. However, greedy meshing has another huge benefit over skip hidden faces, which is revealed when we look at the plots showing memory used for all the tests. Again, we might be able to optimize the memory used when using skip hidden faces as well. This just shows us a very important point when working with voxel terrains. The frame rate isn't the only thing that we need to look out for. Memory used is just as important to be mindful of. And that was all for this video. I'm going to continue using greedy meshing for now. The next sub-project that I'm working on is reworking how our voxel data is stored and implementing a more useful solution for adding and removing blocks to the terrain. I hope you liked this video, and remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell and all that if you want to see more like this in the future.